Hey there, Hampshire chemistry students. Glad to have you guys back today. We're going to be looking together today to make sure that we can understand the different types of acid reactions. You're going to want to be looking at our sheet from yesterday. This was our number 42. Should have finished the front side, but let's take a look at the back side together because we're going to break down the 3 different types of acid reactions and make sure we're all feeling confident and able to complete these types on our homework. So, first, starting off, we're going to look at a reaction between acid and a metal. Remember, any metal on the P table is anybody who's on the left side, so like this magnesium we used is a perfect example of this metal. And when acid meets metal, we always get something specific. We get hydrogen gas as our first product, as well as what's called a salt in chemistry. This salt is going to be super important as we go forward. Remember that salt is one of our vocab terms. So if you don't have this guy, you can take a look at my definition here, that a salt is very simply just an ionic compound. Remember, ionic compounds are made of positive metals and negative nonmetals. If you don't have this definition somewhere, take a second and pause the video and write this down. You need to be able to understand this term to help you move forward. So, let's talk, though, about like a specific example. What would a reaction like this look like? Let's do the one we did together in class, where I have hydrochloric acid, HCl, reacting with the magnesium that I showed you guys, our friend over here. So reacting with Mg. That's our acid, that's our metal, and we're going to create hydrogen as well as our salt. Hydrogen is easy. It's a symbol H. Remember that it is a diatomic, so anytime it's by itself, it's going to need an H2 to go along with it. Now our salt is a little bit more complicated. We have to look and see who is our ionic compound, who is our metal and non-metal that are left over. In this case, I see magnesium that hasn't been used yet, as well as chlorine. So I'm going to make my salt have that formula. I'm going to make sure that my metal is going first. So I'm going to do Mg and Cl. Now, remember, you want to always think, Mg, using my P table knowledge, that is a +2 charge. Chlorine is a -2. So this is going to have 2 here, which of course means that we would need to balance on the other side. So this is a nice example of an acid and a metal reacting to make that salt and H2. All right, so our next reaction is between an acid and a carbonate. We saw carbonate with these little chips, calcium carbonate chips. These are pieces of marble. This is the type you'd see in a fancy floor in a bank or in a tub. But so, an acid and a carbonate react, and these guys form specifically 3 different products. The first one is going to be water. Usually it's going to be a liquid water. Then you're going to get carbon dioxide. If you remember from yesterday, we saw those little bubbles coming off of our calcium carbonate. For that was the carbon dioxide. There are also bubbles in the hydrogen one with our acid and our metal, but hey, that was just the hydrogen gas that was being created. So this is our gas. And lastly, of course, like our first reaction, our final product is going to be the salt, whatever is left over to make that metal and non-metal. So an example of this could be what we did again yesterday. We had HCl combining with our calcium carbonate friends up here, the CaCO3. Those are our reactants, and our products are going to be the 3 laid out here. The first 2 are always really easy. I'm just going to write H2O and CO2. But now we got to look and see who's left over. We use the H as part of our water, so that's going to leave the Cl, though it hasn't been used. That's going to be our minus. And then we have a carbon and an oxygen that have both been used, but calcium is left over. So we get our salt is going to be the calcium and the chlorine. And again, calcium is a +2, so you need 2 minus 1 chlorines to cancel those out. So finally, our last type of reaction, that's between an acid and a base. Okay, this is sometimes called a neutralization reaction in our notes and in our vocab. Okay, but in this type of reaction, you are going to always create two things. You're going to make a water molecule, okay, as well as a salt, just like the other two. Okay? So a simple example could be what we did today. Again, let's take HCl, that hydrochloric acid, and we're going to react it with NaOH. That's the sodium hydroxide. It's in a solid form. It looks like these pellets. And most of the time, you'll be dealing with it in its dissolved form. You can see those little chunks down there. Okay? But so, we're going to react these guys, and we are going to create water as our first product. So I'm going to do H2O. And now I need to figure out what is my salt. So I'm going to look and see H was used in water. I've got chlorine. OH was used in water. I have Na. So my salt is going to be comprised of those two. Don't forget to put the solid first. Excuse me, not the solid, the metal first, the positive metal for our reaction. Boop. Okay. So that's about it for our three types of reactions. Okay. We have these simple patterns to help guide us. And we're going to see in the next video some different ways and some more examples on how we work through these together. Okay. But remember, take a second, go back, pause the video. Were you writing with me? If you weren't, you were choosing to not be successful. Let's change that and let's jump in moving forward with some example problems.